Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are today. This is a Monday and it is not an estate day by choice. My estate lady still cleans some houses and things like that. I mentioned it in the other video where you were introduced to this estate. She used to work for me and she still does some houses. She's normally off, or lets herself be off on Monday and Friday so that she can have long weekends. So she's off and she wouldn't care if I came and worked, and we probably wouldn't even run into each other for the most part today, but I like to give her her day off. The last couple of Mondays I've been going to my mom's and going swimming some and trying to get some vitamin D and not do it just going in and out of the storage unit, which can be that way. But I've got several errands I've got to run today. So today is what I call a woodchuck day. You know the old rhyme, how much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? There's days that if you're a solo reseller like I am, that you've got to just kind of stuff all the personal stuff into one day so that you can stuff all the business stuff into another day. And invariably, again, being a reseller or anybody that works for themselves, you end up doing work that day too. So I've got a mixture of things to do today. My nails need doing. Bad need doing. I've needed those done for about 3 weeks now, and I don't like to go that long. And my little lady that does my nails doesn't like it either. I end up going in and she looks at me like, what have you been using your fingernails for tools for this time? So I get fussed at regularly. I've been going to her about 10 years. So she knows that this is my toolbox a lot of times. I try not to do that, but oh well. It's kind of a hazard of the job. Got to stop at the bank, put some money in the bank. Had a couple of good sales over the weekend that I may show on the end of this video or in another one. I'm gonna go out and chuck wood. Well, Rosie and I got up here to South Haven Antiques. I went by the storage and pulled out some things and put some other things in that are listed on eBay. So it's time to refill the booth. It's Monday, and so it's after the weekend, busy weekend. Had decent sales. It's kind of like eBay right now. Even in the antique shops and stuff like that, it's kind of quiet, but I know it's hot as Hades out here today though. And I have no air in the van. I cannot get my great mechanic to get himself over and fix my van. So, but these are some cool things that are outside. I figured I'd show you some things that are outside. They let us put things on consignment out here. If it sells just like it's inside our booth, which is kind of cool. So, old washing machine. I've sold several of those. Some of this is mine, some of it's not. We all just kind of commingle it. This guy, he gets wheels and rims and all kinds of things from everywhere. A lot of cast. That sells really well down in the south. This is some of my stuff. I pulled the fan blade there. I had it like a flower on the side of my building before I closed my retail shop in 2016. This thing here, I pulled it out, and these old weathered boxes. There's one. These are old marine boxes. This one's just about bit the dust, so I'll probably dump it before long, but you can see what it looks like on the inside. It's all partitioned off. The guy, let's see if I can find one. I don't know if I still have one that's marked, actually. Yeah, I do. The one that's broken, I'll probably have to fix that. But the rigging, he owned a marine salvage diving company. And he was also a superintendent for Memphis Light, Gas, and Water up here. And anyway, he owned that company on the side. It was really cool going through that estate because I kept finding things like that, and I thought, why is all this rigging in here? And then I saw the company name, and they had never mentioned that. They didn't think it was important. And so we did a tool shed, and it was probably, gosh, it was probably around 1,000 square feet altogether, almost to the ceiling. We had to pull things out of that building to be able to even make paths to go into the building to work. Okay, so here's the booth such as she is. She's kind of empty. Got to get some more stuff out. Did put a few things out today, as you saw. Got a few things that I pulled out of the last 3 estates. Still got a ton more. Love the little set. The stove actually still works. I don't know that I would want to work it, but it does. Needs a new plug, I'm sure. But we always leave everything exactly like it is. I rarely even clean anything up. I take the bugs off, I take the cobwebs off, and that's about it. See, I've got a lot of these little bags where I just bag up things. People buy them by the bag, just like they do at Goodwill. Some of the old sleds, that'll probably be something that'll be a hot seller in about maybe 2 or 3 months, 2 months. People like to set their Christmas trees on top of those old sleds. So I'll start doing some heavy advertising both here and on OfferUp. The bulldog looks good there. He can keep her happy. Sell a lot of the old churns and cake molds, chocolate molds, and things like this. My kids put these together at Lowe's. We've got these in here to see if they'll sell. Sorry, the phone got hot. And then I talked to a few folks, but here's the rest of the booth. W. Harris painting. That's a good painting. I'm surprised it hasn't sold yet. People don't know what they're looking at usually. It's a decent painting. Sell a lot of Mickeys, so I put 2 or 3 Mickeys back in. I always have to have a little Asian stuff, Oriental stuff. People like that. I sold a backpack over the weekend. These are all new ones that I got at the bin store. I got them for $1 a piece, but I usually sell them for around 10 to 15. Lots of hardware, like I said before. Lunch boxes. There's Dixie Belle paint. Remote control cars. I've always got a huge variety of whatever is coming out of the estate. If you say, do you have it? It's harder for me to find it now in my storage, but I can usually find it. Love the old phone. I don't want to get rid of this, but I don't have a landline anymore, but I love these. Still got the line and everything, still works. We tested it out in the house that we pulled it out of because they actually still had a landline. My mom's old hamper, that thing's like from when I was a kid, and I'm 57, so. Lots of cool stuff. Even something for the Red Hat Society. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me sweaty all through the day. You'll never know, dear, how much I stink now. Please take this sunshine away. Gosh, it's hot. Well, I got the booth done. I went to storage again, second trip today, not intentional, but I got a answer on, well, a inquiry, I guess, on my Craigslist ad for some magic cards that I got. I believe at a yard sale, yeah. Got them at a yard sale because I got them for $1 a pack. It's a lot of commons in there and stuff like that. But that's these. Look. Got 3 deck boxes full here. So I had to go pick those up. The guy was asking about them, and I had already pulled out some cards that were worth a little bit more, some of them with the gold symbol and stuff. So time to mow the lawn. This hair is out of whack. So as you can tell, I did not get my hair cut. I've still got my hat on. The lady was busy doing a color job and all that, and I had other things to do, so I shot out of there. I told them I'd be back later or back tomorrow or something. So I had to come home and do some shipping. I've got, eBay has been slow, and everybody knows that it's been slow. This time of the year always is, but it's been extremely slow. But I can say that I have not listed very much until yesterday, and of course things started selling again yesterday. So there's some type of correlation between that. You need to get things listed, at least move them around and mess around in your steady listings and move things around and change your prices and end some and start some and all of that, you know, because it likes that. It's like feeding them cornflakes for breakfast. So there's just a few things that I'm going to send out. I'll let you know what those are. I had this I may have shown it in a haul video, I don't remember, but I think I did, and I couldn't recall the name of it. It's a Garrity is what you call this. It's like a paperweight. You can use it as a paperweight. It's things that was given as like memorial type of things with the little poem on the front of it or whatever. It's heavyweight brass, and this one's got it looks like a G48 on it or something like that. To tell you the truth, I don't remember if all of them are marked like this or if they have different numbers on it depending on where, you know, it was put out. I bought this for 30 cents at the bin store, and I sold it for $11.84 with shipping. It's loud. Always buy ties, and especially buy the ones that are just quirky. They can be ugly as all get out, and that's what people will buy. I have sold, like I said in some other videos and things, I've sold more ties and things that look like that a clown bought them because they've got polka dots or they've got something crazy on it or whatever. Well, this one, all the Renaissance fairs that go everywhere, I knew that this one would probably sell. I don't know that that's who it's sold to, but it's got the jousters on the front. Doesn't have a company name or anything like that. Old vintage, old time vintage, but that's probably who I sold it to. And I had thought about it. I was going to leave it on for one more go round, and I think it's the end of August, middle to end of August of this year. The Renaissance Fair comes to our area up in Memphis anyway, and I had thought about trying to sell it there. You know, see if it was somebody there that would want something like that. It wasn't going to sell for a lot, but then I didn't have a whole lot in it. I bought this at the Goodwill outlet at the bin store for about 15 cents. It was real lightweight. That's why I buy a lot of the ties. Bought it for 15 cents, sold it for $9 shipped. Let's see. I also bought this at the bin store. I've had this a while, and I just kept running it on sale and different things like that. I need to repair this. I think I actually put it in the listing. If I did, I'll probably just leave it like that, but I'll probably tack that just a little bit. I meant to do it before I listed it. I always like to do all of my repairs and cleanups and all of that kind of stuff before I get anything listed, because invariably I won't be as good a seamstress that day, and then we'll run into issues. But it's just a little Josie top, bright, and it's kind of lightweight. It's moving into that time of the year in different areas, at least here. It's still blazing hot, But this is something you can wear at nighttime. It's real lightweight and things, and it almost has a little bit of a bell sleeve. It's got kind of a cute little boho look, and that's the words that I put in the ad. Let's see. We will measure it, or scale. Let's see. Let's weigh this. Weigh is the word. Weigh. All right. 3.6 is what it comes up to. So I paid about 36 cents for it, or whatever. Really a little bit less, because my bins run a little bit differently than that. It's a size small, so I paid around, less than 50 cents for it, and I sold it for $7.85 shipped. And then these, oh, I'm so excited. When I went a few weeks ago with my mom, I went to garage sales, and I showed you these. These were in the sale. The lady had 2 of them. It was the Texas Instrument TI 84 Plus. It was the graphing calculator. It's got the cover on it, real clean on the inside. She showed me how it works. It turns on and all of that. And well, it doesn't now because I took the batteries out. But anyway, you get the idea. But it does turn on. I always take a picture of it with it on in the listing and things like that. I have never sold these. I've never found these yet, but I've always been on the outlook for them, or the lookout for them. I bought these for $7.50 a piece. She had $10 a piece on them, and I asked her if I took both of them if she would take $15, which she did. I listed one last night. I wasn't going to list them both or in a bulk listing or anything like that. I wanted to put one up and get it sold and then put the other one up on something like that. I listed them for $59.99 plus shipping. And the shipping, they can actually ship first class. I would put them I'm going to put them in a padded envelope with the cardboard and wrap with the bubble wrap and all of that. And they're still going to come in under 16 ounces, which is awesome. I didn't want to put them in a box necessarily so that they could go on and ship first class for my customer. But I put them both on. I put one on. I was about to get. I'm a night owl. I don't know what I am. I'm a night owl, but I like to get up early sometimes, and I'm just not a middle of the day person. I don't know what that's about, but I have to be middle of the day in my business. So, but I am a night owl, and a lot of times I'll be up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and fiddling around, taking pictures or doing whatever I'm doing because it's nice and quiet at my house during the evening. Bedtime for the kids is usually around 8 or 9 o'clock, depending on whether we've watched a movie with them or something like that. But everybody was in bed, and I thought, hey, I've got those in there. I haven't listed those. I need to get those listed. And it's been like 2.5 weeks. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, I didn't have those listed, so I decided, well, I'll list one of these, which I did. I put it on there, and bam, it sold in less than an hour. I say it was less than an hour. It was probably around 32 minutes, something like that, if I remember right by looking at it. And I thought, oh, okay, and he paid for it. Everything was good or whatever. He made a best offer on it for $45, and I said, I'll take that. I know that they can turn it. It was from an electronics company, so I know that he's going to turn it, and he may turn it for twice as much, but that's okay. I only had $7.50 in it, and I wanted to turn it. And so I decided. I started to get in there, and it was bedtime for me. It was around 2:15 in the morning, and I thought, he might want that other one if I let him know that I'm about to list it. And so I got it ready. I got the listing already so that I could just send him the link, whatever. So I put the link up. I got the second one listed, and I thought, let's see if that one sells as fast, to this guy if he's wanting whatever. And he knew that he could get it for $45, because that's what he had offered me on the other one. And I listed it, and I walked over to turn off all of my lights, from having taken pictures and all of that, and get ready for bed, and I hear the ring on my phone, and I was like, wow, he already found that one. No, somebody else found that one, and they made me an offer of $50 on the second one, and so I took it. So both of those sold in like 35 minutes. So I thought that was really cool. So anyway, I've got $7.50 in them. One of them sold for $49 plus shipping, and the other one sold for $54.50 basically is what it ended up being. $49 and $54.50 with shipping, not plus shipping, with shipping.
And then one other thing, I have always looked at OfferUp, and I've always kind of perused it and seen if there was things that I wanted to buy personally. Basically, I hadn't really bought a whole lot for resale because I get so much from my estates when I buy out from my estates and things, and it's like I don't need another storage unit and, you know, all of those kind of things. And I closed down a retail shop that was 5,000 square feet in 2016, and I was like, I'm just working off of what I've got. So anything that I was looking for on OfferUp or Craigslist or anything like that was usually something that I knew was going to turn almost immediately, because I don't want to store it anywhere. I want to bring it home in my van, and I want to take it right to somebody and get something sold. So that usually is my method on things like that right now, because I've got a limited amount of space. This surrounding that you see me, this is my office, this is my room, this is my everything, you know. I pass through the rest of the house where the kids and grandkids live most of the time, but this is basically all I've got to work with here other than storage. And I've got one 10 by 20 and one 10 by 10, and the 10 by 10 I'm downsizing from, so I'm trying to get out of that one. And I've got the 10 by 20 is in a really poor state of disarray right now, so I'm trying to get it straightened out. So I didn't want to add anything to it. So any of the OfferUp, I basically had just kind of, you know, well, I decided to list some things this week, and I actually have sold several things on there, and the hot seller, go figure, you know. This is the hot seller this week. It is very lightweight tape. It's not anything that I want to keep for shipping or anything like that. And I clarified all of that with everybody that bought it from me and in my listing and all of that, that this is lightweight, light-duty tape. It's not to be used for heavy-duty shipping, but it's something that can be used. And bam, they're just buying it like crazy at $5 a pop. It's a great deal for them. I can move it out, and I've got probably 3 or 4 boxes out there with 12 each, you know, so I'm selling those fast as I can. So I've got 2 or 3 of those more to put out. I think I sold about 5 this week, something like that, 5 or 6 of the packs, and got a couple of other people that are going to be looking for some. I also had found these. Not sure if it was in a haul video or not. I think so. But I found these. I had 3 boxes of the magic cards. And of course, when people get magic cards, you know, they go through and they pull out the really good cards for the ones that they need to complete a deck. I don't know anything about these really, but my son-in-law used to play. He no longer has his cards or anything, but he does keep up with the trends and different things like that. So I just laid them out for him. He worked nights that night, and I laid them out, and I figured he could go through them a whole lot faster than I could, which he did. And the next morning, he says, well, these are all commons, you know, basically commons, and it comes out of the Gate Crashers and the Fate Reforged mostly, you know, so that I could tell somebody and I could actually do an ad for it. And he was kind of telling me a little bit about it because I don't know that much about them. He also pulled these out of the decks. And these right here are what you call bulk rares. He didn't say that, but I learned that from the person that just texted me a few minutes ago about these and was wanting to know about them. These are called bulk rares. They're usually, at this point in time anyway, at the time of this video, they're usually worth anywhere from like 75 cents to $1 a piece-ish. You know, some of them 50 cents or whatever. It kind of depends. That's what those are. So they're worth a little bit more. Then this one, the Rest in Peace card, right now is running about $5 to $7, which that's what my son-in-law had told me. And the potential buyer, as it turns out, he contacted me on Craigslist, not OfferUp, although I did have them on OfferUp. And he contacted me, asked if I still had the cards. I told him I did. We had a little bit of a conversation. He had sent me a text, a number that I could text, which I sent pictures to, and things like that, a little bit more detailed pictures. And I told him about the cards that we had pulled out that were not included in that deal. Well, long story short, he's interested in them, and he's going to make an appointment to come and see me tomorrow and probably purchase these cards. I have the cards listed right now for $45, which I knew was high. I did it on the high side because I had them on OfferUp. As it turns out, he shops a lot of my estate sales. He started describing himself. I didn't know him by name, but he started describing himself, and it's like, yeah, I remember that convertible that you drive. So, he and his wife come to a lot of my sales and things, and I knew I would recognize him probably when I saw him. So he told me, he says, I'm actually a collector, and I will pay fair on these, and I'll come and see you tomorrow. So we'll probably strike some kind of deal, probably around $40, $45, something like that for all of them, including the ones that my son-in-law had pulled aside. So that's not bad since I paid $1/4 a box for them. So, but I'm going to get my shipping done and hopefully go back by and try and get this mop taken care of. We'll see if that happens or not. If not, well, guess what? Tomorrow's Tuesday, and she's open tomorrow.
Got all of my shipping done, thankfully, and was able to cool off a little bit while I was doing that, but I'm back in this hot van again. Sorry it's loud, but I have to have all the windows down and the fan on and everything else under the sun, so it makes a lot of racket. But I'm already hot again, and I just left the house. You gotta love the South. I'm a Southern girl, and it is hot for me today. I think the heat index is around 110 today. But I got all my shipping ready, and I am headed to the post office to get those shipped out. When I cut through here, you find all of the little shortcuts to the post office, that's for sure. I could do it on my porch, but that takes half the fun out of it, you know. To me, the post office is my third favorite place in the world. My first favorite place is hugging my kids or grandkids, no matter where that is. Second favorite place is the bank, and the third favorite place is the post office, because the post office means that I'll be going to the bank. Yep, everybody's hot today. But in my case, I'm sweaty and hot and nasty almost every day that I work. But the way I look at it is sweat is the currency of work. You don't sweat a little bit even in the middle of winter, you're not working very hard. So I went back and caught Miss Mary. Got my hair done. That feels a lot better. Got my nails did. That definitely feels a lot better. I'll be able to do my work a little bit easier now, especially that jewelry. You know, as a reseller and an entrepreneur, sometimes we forget one person in all of the mix. We forget ourselves. It was nice to go and do a few things for me today, and they ended off with visiting with some friends and square dancing again. Lots of fun, lots of laughter. That's what life is about, fun and laughter. Yeah, we need to make money, but if we make it and we don't have any of us left at the end of it, why are we doing it? Keep that in mind this week as you go about your work. Have fun with it. Happy junking and happy life.